And it is recording.
Alright, here we go.
Alrighty. Look. Yeah.
Hey folks, it's been a minute.
Been a long minute.
Yeah, it's been a long minute, but you know what? We're back in the saddle. Welcome back to the B&R Podcast.
Let's do this.
I'm
Richard.
Bill.
And Bill. Actually, should Bill first, then Richard.
There you
hence
go.
the B&R.
There you go.
Bill and Richard. The Bill and Richard Show.
There you go.
Kind of reminds me of Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live.
I don't want to go.
Oh no!
Yeah. I think first and foremost, I mean, there's been I can't even list how many things since the last time we've been on here, but I guess as far as current events go, we need to talk about what's happening in Iran right now.
Yeah, but before we start that, I just want to tell everybody, our hiatus was not due to Bill. He was good to go, ready to rock. I played Santa Claus through the holidays, and everything I could have gotten from the little petri dishes that were loving on me, I got. I got even pink eye. I had pneumonia, I had bronchitis, I had literally everything plus pink eye. So it's not Bill's fault, but I feel much better than I used to. Well, maybe not much better, but I feel better than I used to. And so we're back in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're ready to go. We're ready to put some content out. So, for
So,
sure.
ho, ho, ho.
There you go.
Iran. Man,
Iran.
I hope it doesn't become a giant quagmire mess. I don't know what to believe anymore. There's so many conflicting reports. Supposedly, President Trump initially demanded unconditional surrender, which is typical of Trump. That's exactly how he would play that. And then the Iranians basically said, go pound sand. They have lots of sand, so go pound sand. I don't know what to believe. Are we running out of ammunition? Are we not running out of ammunition? Are we putting boots on the ground? Are we not putting boots on the ground? The Kurds are sending 1,000 men. Well, 1,000 men. Saddam sent 1 million.
Yeah,
And most of them went back in body bags.
But with that being said, though, I mean, with the technology, with our advanced planes, our radar, you go from top to bottom, from land to sea to air.
I believe in my heart that everything that could be done has been done. What I mean by that is, I believe in my heart that the Iranians do not have a navy anymore. It's bottom of the ocean.
I don't believe they have an air force.
They don't have an air force.
I don't believe they can detect us one bit.
But I also believe in the saying that you cannot bomb a country into submission. If you could, Great Britain would have submitted or capitulated to the Luftwaffe, but they did not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I pray every day. I pray very hard.
Well, and the one thing that I've seen a few on are people that have contacts in Iran, and they say that the majority of the Iranians are, listen, we need this freedom. This has been going on 50 years.
Yeah, I seen a woman the other day talking about it, and she said, yes, we're taking casualties. Yes, it's unfortunate that the girls' school got accidentally bombed, but she said, we're willing to take the pain because this has to happen. And I think they realize that this is their really only chance.
Yeah.
If this doesn't pass the muster, then they're going right back to being slaves.
Yes.
Put that burqa back on. You took it off for the protest.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be stoned to death. And I know that sounds kind of like hyperbole, but the truth is, that's how the mullahs rolled.
Well, and again, there's so many of these protesters here stateside.
Yeah.
I would dare you to go there and
You
do
can't.
these protests.
I wish they would, but they're not going to because even they know. Well, here's my problem with the protesters that I see here over a lot of different things.
They're paid anyway.
It's an AstroTurf situation. I've seen the one guy said he got $30 an hour.
Yeah.
And you get bonuses depending on what a fool you can make of yourself. Here's my thing. I don't know how you believe it. Because look, we got a First Amendment. Okay, but I do not believe that there should be paid protesters, astroturfing, because here's the thing. That's not their voice.
No.
They're projecting somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Who are these people? Is it George Soros? Is it Soros' kid? I don't know.
Is it overseas?
Is it overseas? Is it China?
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we need to put on the front burner. Of course, nothing.
Well, I do believe that there's a lot of digging deep in the weeds at this point right now to connect a lot of dots.
Yeah.
And again, where those dots lead, the investigations, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and not only we will see, but what will our Justice Department do? What will Pam Bondi do? And my guess is a big fat zero. That's what she'll do. And that's the other thing too. They just closed. The criminal investigation because they got a criminal referral. God, which one? Do you remember what it was?
Which one?
I know. That's the sick thing. This is one that should have been literally a slam dunk. People should have been indicted. People should have been prosecuted. But they weren't. And they just closed it yesterday, I think. I seen it on the news. And I'm thinking to myself, is nobody going to be held accountable for literally anything?
Is this the Russian collusion investigation?
I think so. It was something that was so ridiculous because there was a mountain of evidence showing that if there was any collusion being done, it was between Adam Schiff and look. These people manipulated a lot of the news media. The news media was more than happy to be manipulated.
Yeah.
But it hurts our, they keep harping about our democracy. Yeah. We all know we're a republic.
Yeah.
But it does hurt our system when you have chairman of committees coming out and getting in front of the first camera he sees. I'm talking Adam Schiff. And looks at the camera and says, we have a mountain of evidence. If you could only see what I seen in that skiff, oh my God, Donald Trump's going to prison. None of that was true.
Yeah.
But it poisoned the waters. And unfortunately, he's not only has he not been held accountable.
Oh my God.
He got a promotion to senator. Which tells you, and I'm so sick and tired of people going, no, not everybody in California is a left-wing nut. Let me tell you something. When you're talking about voting for senator, okay, that's everybody in the state. All right, so you're not talking about running for a House seat in San Francisco. Yeah. So I don't know what percentage Schiff won by, but I think it was pretty solid.
Well, he was just in a gotcha moment.
I seen that. That was so perfect.
With Bill Maher.
That was so perfect.
And who would have ever thought Maher would put him in a position to where
I think Maher realizes that finally at this point in his life, he has to rehabilitate the way people look at him because otherwise he's going to be lumped in with the other leftist clowns in the media. And I think he's being much more fair. Now, if you ever watch an entire... Bill Maher's famous for having clips like that where he seems sane. But if you watch the entire show, okay, 90% of it is him still kowtowing to his base.
He's poking at the right.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. But as far as Iran goes, I don't know we win this, we don't win this. I do know one thing. Trump can pretty much look in the mirror and go, my whole presidency... everything I've ever done hinges on this being successful. And by the way, J.D. Vance has got to be going, how did this happen?
I don't know how you really measure it because, first of all, and I know, if that regime would have been able to put nuclear missiles out.
They would have taken out New York and never lost a minute's sleep over.
They would wipe us out in a heartbeat. And not just us. Israel would be...
the mullahs are so insane. Listen, even when the last Ayatollah, even when he knew that we were starting a bombing campaign, he could have went down to the bunker. Not that I think that would have made any difference, but I think he thought he had divine providence, and he thought that Allah was going to take care of him and all. We took, what did we take, 50 of their leaders out in one whack?
Yeah, it was a big number. It was pushing 50, and again, let's talk about their thought process. What type of arrogance is that when you have your top 50 leaders all together in one meeting?
And going back to my point of, I think it was to him, it was divine providence. Yeah. I think that this is what makes him dangerous to have a nuclear weapon. Yeah. Made him dangerous. He's no longer dangerous, but his son can be just as dangerous. But I tell you, they really did believe that Allah was guiding them. Yeah. And I think it was probably, not that he felt it, but it was probably a shock to some of the ones that weren't there at that meeting that Allah had forsaken them.
Yeah.
And Allah did forsake them.
And that would be interesting to see exactly what percentage of Iranians were actual hardcore compared to the ones that say, listen, we want freedom, we want democracy, we want to be able to make a choice.
For the first time, I actually seen a street protest in Tehran that was not pro-American Israel. It was very much in line with the mullahs, and I thought to myself, either they're being forced to, we better go to this thing, or they may kill us. Okay? Yeah. They're not sure how this is going to pan out. Yeah. But there were a lot of people that were, waving signs for the new Ayatollah and praising him, and, I don't know. I said a long time ago that, if it wasn't for the nuclear edge, I said a long time ago, let these people live in their 7th century religion. Let them do their thing. It's none of my business. If they want to marry 6-year-old girls, that's on them. Okay? But the nuclear thing really does change things. And look how we treated North Korea before they actually blew off a nuke. We were ready to go in there and take Kim out. Yeah. But then once he blew it off, the rules changed. The rules changed because if you try to, you try to put boots on the ground and they've got a nuclear device buried at the border, you may not get that to be able to take that out, but you start bringing your military in, a small yield nuclear device will kill everybody.
Mass casualties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, like we've never seen before.
Yep.
The only people who have seen those kind of casualties were the Japanese during World War II at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where in a flash, 70,000 people were dead. Some of them just vaporized. Some of them burned into the sidewalks.
Yep.
And so they're the only ones that have ever seen anything like that. But we all know, we've seen the reels. This is not something we want us to go through. So I don't know, I'm so torn on the Iran thing, but I got to tell you, we're committed.
The world's in a better position right now with that regime knocked down
knocked down a peg. But if we didn't, here's the thing. So the Ayatollah's son is now the new Ayatollah. The king is dead. Long live the king. I don't know where they're at. They said they had X amount of plutonium enriched to a degree where you could start making bombs. Is that true? Is that not true? I don't know. Will the Ayatollah's son continue? I think so. In the name of his father.
Well, I heard that he was injured, but again, I don't know if that's confirmed.
Do you know that he was actually treated medically in London? This is a few years back.
Doesn't surprise me.
But you know what he was treated for? He was trying to get the British doctors to fix his wing wang.
Oh boy.
He was there for ED treatment.
Oh boy.
Apparently Allah didn't want him having sex with goats.
Yeah, no kidding. So
he
should just go with what the Lord had laid out for him, right?
That's right.
But without going any further on that, I think that there's something that we need to discuss, and that's the loss of servicemen and women.
We've lost how many so far?
7 at this point.
Which, by the way,
it's a tragedy.
It's tragic. 7 too many.
Yeah.
But in the realities of war, that's nothing.
Well, yes, in the big picture, we can say it's nothing. But I can say on my behalf, because my son's in the military.
Right.
I have nephews that are in the military, and many friends, their kids are in the military.
Yeah.
It hits hard. You think about it, and again, a lot of these men and women, they were in.
Some of the casualties were women.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They were in, as part-time airmen or women, or in the Army, whatever. But
they were killed at that base. We had a base. Where was it that most of the casualties?
I don't know if they were in Abu Dhabi or where
one of
they were
those,
at, but they were in another
they were outside
country that was not involved in the conflict, and of course Iran took it upon themselves to fire into these other countries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was just batshit.
But again, the loss of life. You can't ever put a value on it. There's no way that you can do that, and particularly not sitting in the seat of the mother, father, brother, sister, grandparents, etc. It's just
Well, our hearts go out to them for sure. Not to compare, what happened to any kind of other war, but to be honest with you, you think about how many gold stars were in the windows of houses in World War II. But Saving Private Ryan is a good movie to watch because, there was a point in our country's history where a whole family lost every child, and they were in the Navy, and I think they're all in the Navy. And it's kind of like what they based Saving Private Ryan on. But here's the thing. In my opinion, I joined the military right out of high school. My opinion is, you sign up to defend your country. You count on your leadership to do the right thing. Was attacking Iran the right thing? I hope so, and I like to think it was. Will we be able to sleep nights with the sacrifices that our men and women have made because we were successful in Iran? I think we'll be able to sleep a lot better. I don't know how people live in places like Dallas, Texas, or in places like New York City, because that's where they will, if they do nuke us.
It's going to go to a big populated area.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty covered here.
But with that being said, though, I mean, I'd also kind of like to branch into and let's talk about, what we classify our allies. Okay, we know Israel's going to be with us from the start.
Well, their
intelligence is probably the best.
Well, they've been the tip of the spear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. For better or for worse. I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear so many Iranians actually praising. Yeah. I would never thought that, but they were like thanking Israel and thanking the United States.
Yeah.
Our allies. Okay, and this is going to sound horrible. Well, maybe it won't sound horrible. I don't know. I am so over Europe. We have lost men and women, mostly men. There are whole cemeteries of U.S. servicemen over in France, in England, all through Europe.
Yep, all through Europe.
And you want to talk about some ungrateful bastards. We were always in charge after World War II. Well, we spent the gold. The old saying is, the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. We have supported and propped up every European country over there for 70 years. We have cried and sacrificed and did all the things.
Prior to that even.
Well, World War I.
Yeah.
The old saying, Lafayette, we are here.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. For them to have the willingness to get in front of a camera and slam our president, slam the United States as a whole, and Canada, are you kidding me?
Them in the UK are their brother and sister right there.
And I don't like ungrateful people. Some of the times in my life that I've been most mad at somebody, there were people that I had actually went out of my way and sacrificed to help them, only to have them do me dirty the first chance they got.
Yep.
That takes me to a special level of hatred and upset. So to watch the British Prime Minister with his double talk and talking out both sides of his mouth, and Spain.
Oh, arrogance there too.
Unbelievable. But this, by the way, this goes back a long time.
Yeah.
Some of you may not be old enough to remember when we attacked Libya, when Gaddafi was in charge and ended up killing his child in the crib and all that stuff. We actually had to fly all the way around Western Europe because none of them
would allow us in the airspace.
And we ended up, on the way back, we ended up losing an aircraft into the drink, never to be seen again. And we did that on behalf of the civilized world.
Yeah.
And it just seems like they're the most ungrateful people. But wait and see what happens. Whether it's Russia or maybe another German chancellor decides, it's time to relive some of the glory days. Wait and see what happens. They will be begging us. And by the way, a lot of people don't know this. You have to be a real student of history to really get this. And I'm a real student of history. And I will tell you that when Winston Churchill was Prime Minister of Great Britain, he was on his heels. It was close. He was getting pounded into oblivion. And he was on the phone every day to Roosevelt, begging him. But see, the United States of America had lost so many of its young fighting men during World War I. The mantra was, no, we're not going back to Europe. We have bled enough for Europe. Well, now, depending on, and I don't want to get too into the weeds as far as conspiracy theories, depending on who you believe, we kind of pushed the Japanese to actually attack Pearl Harbor. And here's the thing. How do I know this? Well, think about it. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. 3,000, 4,000 people died. Okay, well, what was the first thing the United States did? Did we go to send troops to the Pacific? No, we did not. We sent troops to Europe. And that's why, when you listen to Japanese nationals and they start talking about how, for them, because Japan was fighting in Manchuria, and for them, they owned Manchuria. Manchuria, they had gotten it through a treaty, whatever, years ago, but then all of a sudden, Roosevelt's administration was claiming that the Japanese was doing X, Y, and Z, which they really weren't. Like I said, I don't want to get into the weeds about that, but it's never been lost on me that the first thing we did was go to Europe, because before that, nobody. Roosevelt, so December 7th, 1941 is the date that will live in infamy. Yeah. Okay, it is what it is, but I got to be honest with you. Anyway, like I said, I don't get into all the weeds.
Well, and we're talking a little bit about this European situation. Richard actually has some good friends in the UK.
I do.
And
right outside of London, like a suburb of London.
And in the future, near future, we will have one or a couple on here. Of course, the identities will be, hidden.
Well, they will be definitely blocked because the UK does not have a First Amendment or a Constitution like we have. They've got the Magna Carta, blah, 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 which was a blueprint for what we did. But the truth is that their speech is not protected. And so that's why you see people showing up at 3 a.m. to arrest an old lady because she said she didn't want her money being spent on these immigrants.
Correct. Correct. And in a lot of cases, these people are getting harder sentences than sex criminals.
It's insane. Well, they had one person one immigrant, illegal immigrant, who raped a British woman, and her friend got on the internet and started bitching and moaning about the whole thing. They came and arrested her. Okay, the friend of the rape victim, the rapist goes to jail, and the friend of the rape victim goes, to trial. The friend of the rape victim got more time in jail than the rapist.
Yeah.
And all she did was point out the fact that this is what we're living in. It's just crazy. And I heard the other day, and this is kind of crazy. I can't believe it's true, but it probably is, that the British government is looking to expand the Muslim population into the countrysides, and one of the things is that they're trying to accomplish, finding the housing, building housing for these mostly African Muslims, and then because of the Muslim religion, shutting down all the pubs. The Brits love their pubs.
In all honesty, Starmer is bending the knee to that.
Well, you know what I heard now? I do not know if this is true,
Belief.
but I'm going to throw this out there. I seen a video the other day where a woman, very intelligent woman, was making a very strong case that King Charles is a Muslim.
Oh, because of everything that he's let happen?
Not just that, but just different things.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because there are, believe it or not, a lot of people who converted to Islam for what reason, I have no idea, but they did. And I want to say this. If King Charles is, in fact, a Muslim, that answers a lot of questions. Well, it sheds light on a lot of questions.
I'm not going to agree or disagree.
Well, I don't know if it's true.
I'd have to look at a little more intel on that. But me and you have discussed, and then every major city in the UK is led by what?
Every major city in the UK, 7 of the largest cities, all through the United Kingdom, or England, if you will.
Yeah.
But really beyond that, because this actually goes to Ireland and Scotland, are ran by Muslims. The mayors of all of the, was it Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London? Well, every major city through the UK has a Sadiq Khan.
I think that's who Don Trump called out at that when he went over to the UK.
Yeah. And when we're following in the footsteps.
Yeah.
Because New York City is, now look at, they got bombings, and what kills me about the New York City thing, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not.
Yeah, I absolutely do. They had shrapnel bombs,
and
in the interview after they captured these guys, were you trying to mirror the Boston bombing? By no means. Our intent was to take out many, many people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing is, what did the governor of New York City have to say about all of it? Well, first of all, he claimed it was white supremacy.
Yeah, white supremacy. Yeah.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
No, and then even the mayor has yet to call it for what it was, an Islamic attack.
It was an Islamic attack. How many sleeper cells do you think we have in this country?
I watched a Sean Ryan episode, and he had a CIA intelligence person on there, and she says, I guarantee you, I know for fact, over 1,000 cells in this country.
There's going to be American blood spilled on this continent.
Yep.
There's no getting around it.
No.
The only thing you can hope for, and it probably will not materialize, is that the ones that are here have westernized and are like, we kind of like this life.
Yeah.
That's what you can hope for. The reason I say probably won't, because if you look at the hijackers from 9/11, they were enjoying the lifestyle. The last night that they were here, they were all at the club, making it rain on the dancers.
Yeah.
And knowing that the next day they were all going to die. So I don't know, but. I mean, not that I want this to happen, but this will definitely, or should be, an eye-opener for the leftists who had no issue with senile old Joe Biden opening up the back door. All these people that are globalists who don't believe in borders, they don't realize how dangerous that is. And if there's any justice whatsoever, they will pay a high price as well. Where are we at time-wise?
We got to wind her down.
All right.
As usual, naturally, our love goes out to our men and women of the armed services, our men and women of our first responders, and naturally, God bless our troops. Mm-hmm. God bless the fallen and their families. Other than that, it's great to be back in the saddle.
It is. Long live the Republic.
Peace out.